And a very, very good morning to you from sunny London and St Pancras International Station. I'm on the higher level there, just at the level that the Eurostars go from. To coin an airport phrase, landside, not airside, unfortunately, today. Join me on a little trip today. I'm going to go and get on a southeastern high-speed train down to Whitstable, and we'll have a little look around there, see how we get on today. Getting the 8:20 from St Pancras International. I'm going to head on down to the high-speed platforms right now. Southeastern high-speed trains depart from the high-level platforms, same as East Midlands trains, with the Eurostar sandwiched in between and in a more secure area because they're, of course, going overseas. So it's on this side of the platform, call this the east side, is where you'll get your train. That's the 0820 Ramsgate via Faversham. I'll be getting off in Whitstable. I've never been to Whitstable before, so I'll have a little read up on it when I get there, make sure I don't miss anything, and let's see what sort of trip it is. First of all, let's get there on Southeastern.
Shortly be arriving at Stratford International.
Well, very good morning again from Whitstable in Kent. Now, I've never been here before, so I'm just going to have a general stroll around, see what I see. But two fun facts that I noticed while I was on the way. It's situated on the convergence of the Thames and Swale Estuary. It's 60 miles east of central London, 5 miles north of Canterbury, 3 miles west of Herne Bay. The train journey will take about 1 hour 20 from St Pancras, a little bit longer from Victoria, and if you drive about 1 hour 30, 1 hour 40, and there's a population of 32,000. What else? Fun things to do in Whitstable. Swim in the sea. It's a pebble beach, so a bucket and spade won't be overly brilliant here. Eating oysters. The town is famous for its oysters, and the Whitstable oyster fishery was recommended as being the #1 oyster place in town. I'm not a big fan of the oysters personally, so I shan't be trying them, but if you do, allegedly the season is from September through to April. It's now April, so there should still be some on sale for those that do like oysters or want to try them. And what else? It's a quaint old town with some interesting shops and a traditional British seaside town. So just round the coast from here you've got Margate, Ramsgate, Herne Bay, and one or two other places. The Kent coast is really nice, but this is one part of it that I've never been to before. So come along, let's have a walk, let's see what we see, and I'll come back to you when we get to the seafront, which looks to be about half a mile or so from here, I think. Well, apparently the harbour is that way. I'm not too sure about the directions that are up there for the other places, because they seem to be just pointing straight into this car park. But that's the problem with those sorts of signs, isn't it? Little scallywags can jump up and sort of bang them and push them, and it spins them round on the pole if they're not tightened up properly, and get people walking in all sorts of wrong directions. Luckily for me, I'm not walking in any particular direction at all today, but I can smell the sea and I can hear the seagulls, so I know pretty much which direction to go in to at least start there. But I've not seen anything of great interest yet, I have to say. Well, I'm getting close to the seafront now. I'm getting close to the harbour, and the beach is over in that direction, I believe. Well, two things. One, there's no signpost as to where this path's going to, so I'm going to go down it, as you do. And I think one of the local fish and chip shops, I see, it's a cut through to the harbour. I think one of the local fish and chip shops has just fired up its ovens, because there is one beautiful smell wafting around here. I think that's where I'll be going for my lunch shortly. Right, let's get down here, have a look. Yeah, this is a proper little port actually. Not some fancy thing set up for the tourists.
Oh,
There's a beautiful smell of fish and chips around here somewhere. Coming from somewhere. Wow. That's supposed to be selling pork. Lots of old fishing boats down there. Oh yeah, this place is definitely worth a visit. It's close to Canterbury as well, so you could probably do both in one day if, well, certainly spread it over 2 days. Canterbury fairly soon. Crabwinkle. As you can see, it's quite tidal in these parts, and the tide is right out at the moment. Boats are actually sat on the sand there, and you can see around the edge where the high tide mark is, where the just above the green on the walls there. So yeah, it's a fairly big tidal range. Give that 6 hours or so, and that'll be right back up again, I guess. And the crustaceans seem to be the order of the day. £1.50 each for an oyster. Is that a good price? I don't know. I've got no idea. It seems slightly expensive for an oyster, but perhaps that's an absolute bargain. I really couldn't say. And right out there, you can see the oyster fisheries, and I see a tractor in the water there. Looks like they're harvesting oysters as we speak. Not really got the right shoes on to wade out and have a look, but I guess you could do. You need some decent reef shoes here actually, because it's not sand, it's quite pebbly and what have you. Maybe a bit sharp on the feet. Right, well just there, that's the Isle of Sheppey. As I recall, there's nothing too much remarkable about the Isle of Sheppey, apart from the fact a ferry company called the Swale line used to operate from there to Vlissingen in Holland back in the day. I'm not even sure if there is a ferry service from there anymore, but certainly the Swale line doesn't exist. It's many a great weekend trip heading over to Holland for the weekend on that. And over there, you can't really see from here in the distance, is the county of Essex and places such as Clacton. Can't really zoom in any further on those, but if you know, you know what they are. Right, probably not the best part of the beach for sitting around on. And the tide is a long way out here, hence the reason they're out there. Harvesting the oysters. When the tide comes in, they'll be completely covered. And it's quite flat this here. I imagine the tide comes in quite quickly across here. Okay, I'm going to take a walk now up this way. You can copy to the map. The town of Whitstable is up this way. I'm going to take a walk back down along towards the castle and say castle it's described as, but we'll see when we get there. I'm not so sure it's quite that. We'll have a little look around the town. Certainly a beautiful day today, albeit slightly on the cold side. I kind of wish I liked oysters. I have tried them once before, and they were deep fried in batter. And really, I didn't really like them very much. But people swear by them. Eat them raw, swallow them whole, and all the rest of it. So I don't know. But apparently they're great here. £1.50 a pop. They're not very big really, are they? I guess you need to know you like them. Something about the sea air makes you want to eat fish and chips. way of getting back, I suppose. Concrete wall here for the very, very high tides and rough sea. So splashing in into these beachside huts. Converted fishermen's huts from £75 per night. Wow. That's from. That is just a big pile of oyster shells. Yeah, it's an actual floodgate here to stop the town from flooding, because when you look down here, this bit's really been built on the top of the shingle and the beaches, and then the town goes downhill there, so I can imagine over the years that's ended up underwater if really rough seas come over here. But yeah, there's floodgates. I'm going to have to go back to that area where I could smell the fish and chips earlier on and seek out the fish and chip cafe or restaurant, because they smell absolutely gorgeous. Kind of reminds me of Broadstairs in a way, although Broadstairs has got a sandy beach. Broadstairs has got an absolutely beautiful beach, and probably if you bring in Litlands, it'd be better. You'd be better off going there. Well, this is the high street, so I suppose the centre of Whitstable, the town itself. Quite a few well-known brand names here to go with the ones you've never heard of, but are probably almost certainly going to be far more interesting. Just going to take a little stroll up here and head back towards the harbour and along to the other part of Whitstable, the other side of the harbour. Had a little Google there of the fish and chips here in Whitstable, and needless to say there's quite a few of them, and I'd have to say the majority of them do get quite good scores. This one there, for example, 4.5. Most of them are 4.5, 4.6. A few teeter down into the 3 point whatevers. So yeah, jump onto Google, but certainly there's a couple out on the front that get high ratings as well. Notice that one there's sign in the window, cash only, which can be a bit of a nuisance this day and age, but there you go. Just so it goes to prove that you can't believe absolutely everything you read on the internet. This place, which was clearly shut down quite some time ago, has got a rating of 4.3, which actually on the grand scheme of things would have been quite a good score. But you won't be getting any fish and chips in there anytime soon. This is something you don't see very often these days. Proper record shop. Sells CDs as well, but vinyl. I know you can order a lot of this stuff off the internet these days, but actual shop you can walk in. It's a Pink Floyd, that's not an album actually, it might have some albums in it, but it's a 500-piece jigsaw puzzle. Elton John jigsaw puzzles as well. Fantastic. So yeah, the high street here, although it's quite busy with cars, as you probably can see, but it's fairly quaint, a typical little old town with a mixture of well-known brand names and places like that there at your service, sort of more local places, which are always good to see. Some towns you go in now and it's just nothing, just the big brands and that's it. Either high-end brands or very low-end brands, nothing in between. Here seems to have a bit of everything actually. Traditional fruit and veg stall over there as well, which is good to see. And a theatre. It's going along a bit longer than I thought it would actually. I've got that sort of just about to leave town kind of feeling now. Reached the area where the library is situated. Things like salons, hair salons, hairdressers, traditional Turkish barbers, 2 of them opposite each other, and a tattoo shop and that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm going to walk back towards the centre of Whitstable now. This is really the road in and the road out, I think. It's certainly quite busy. Now, there you go, there's a Wetherspoons. Now, that looks like that used to be a cinema or a theatre. And as many of you Wetherspoons aficionados out there probably already know, they do tend to take over a lot of weird and wonderful old buildings to turn into pubs. And they've got quite a fan club. They've got a website that's a bit like train spotting and plane spotting. You can go Wetherspoon spotting to the biggest, the smallest, the quirkiest, and this, that and the other, all around the country. Loads of them, absolutely everywhere. Good thing maybe, bad thing possibly, but certainly a lot of the Wetherspoons pubs are interesting in their own right, which is for me quite a good thing. Whether it's a good thing for pubs in general, I don't know, but anyway, there you go. That looks to have been a Wetherspoons that used to be a cinema or theatre. Maybe someone could comment and tell me what it actually was, but it certainly looks like that. Plenty of these shops about here as well, which are always quite interesting. Knickknacks and antiques and stuff like that, collectibles. Hey, this place looks good and it certainly smells good too. I'm interested to know what a blob man is like. In fact, there's a naked blob Presumably something similar to the gingerbread men, which are just next door. I'll have to pop in back here a little while and grab one of those. I think I won't go for the naked blob, I'll go for the blob man. Seem to have more icing. If you get my drift. Gosh, it's a noisy high street though, I will say that. It's a lot of clattering and banging and vehicles bombing up and down. I'm gonna go and see if I can find somewhere a little quieter, grab some fish and chips and then go back for my blob man later on. Looks like the kind of place that probably sells out though, so I better not waste too much time doing that. I think I probably entered the, well, I was going to say semi-pedestrianised. It's not, there's cars still coming down here, but it's nothing like as busy as the high street back there. This is a lot quieter along here. Rock Bottom Records. Oh. This is Harbour Street. Yeah, it's just got an altogether more relaxed vibe about it along here. Still got buses coming down here though. I'm back to the harbour again where I started an hour or so ago, and of course a lot more of these food places have opened up now, a lot more people about, and as you can probably see there, the tide's come in a bit because those boats are about to start floating again. I was sat on the sand earlier on, if you recall. Right, I'm going to head up this way, see what there is in this direction. It's actually called the, you might be surprised to learn, the Harbour Market. Still quite a few stalls not open yet. It is a Tuesday and it's a day after a bank holiday, so perhaps we're all having a day off after a busy weekend. Something there, look, you see, mussels, oysters, beer and wine being sold from a shipping container. Now you've got to give that a go, surely. Got to. Guess the beach is this way then. This is to the east of the harbour. As you can see, a bit like in Brighton, Pebble Beach. Very strong tides here as well. A river estuary, so you get high, big tidal range and strong currents. You need to know what you're doing if you go out there swimming. So there's a kind of a sand or pebble spit sticking out to sea there. We'll walk up to that. You don't want to wander out there too far when the tide's on the way in, which I think it is at the moment, so you've got to be a little bit careful you don't end up to your knees in a couple of minutes. Not a sign saying no swimming. I'll say that's probably good advice. So when I googled top 10 things to do in Whitstable, one of them was take a dip in the sea. Presumably they meant just stick your feet in, have a paddle. Unless there's somewhere around here where it is safer to swim. Perhaps around that headland there. I'll go and have a look now. I don't know if you could read that sign there, but apparently this is part of the Oyster Bay Trail. It doesn't look particularly long, it's for cycling down really, but you can Google it, just Google Oyster Bay Trail, Whitstable. I think it essentially takes you to Herne Bay, which is the next place along from here. And that's that really, but might be of interest to somebody if they want to bring their bike on the train or in the car and then go for a little cycle around. That sand spit's getting smaller and smaller over there as the tide comes in. Go for a few pounds now, these beach huts. Yeah, that's sand and pebble spit is getting smaller and smaller as the tide comes in. Right, I've made a decision here. I'm not going to walk back into Whitstable from here. I've come about a mile down the coast, down the beach. What I'm going to do is walk to there in the distance. That's Herne Bay. So I'm going to carry on, jump back on the train to London from Herne Bay. The wind's behind me. The sun shines in my face, so all is good. Apparently it's going to rain later, so hopefully I'll get there before that starts. This is a very pleasant walk along the seafront, along the Oyster Bay Trail. The Whitstable Castle and Gardens, which are up there somewhere, we'll have to wait until another day. And for the few of you that may not have seen these wooden structures on the beach before, they're called groins, spelt differently. They're not the same, not spelt the same as the part of your body that's at the top of your legs. These are spelt Groyne, groin, or groins, and they're to stop the beach washing away. Very high tides here and strong currents that can end up washing all the sand or shingle away and causing problems with coastal erosion. So to keep the beach in place, they put these up, and there is a heck of a lot of them here, which just goes to show how much of a problem it is here. You do see them, they're on the beach at Brighton, one or two other places around the country, but here there are lots of them. But I'll tell you what they are good for. On a slightly cool day when the wind's blowing, they make great wind shelters. If you sit on the side sheltered from the wind, well, that's often where you'll find people. And today you'll be sitting on that right hand side. Can you see how, I don't know if it picks up on the camera quite the same, how the shingle and sand are that much lower on the left hand side than the right hand side. The power of the sea, it's absolutely phenomenal. Never ever underestimate it. Glad I've made this decision to continue walking towards Herne Hill rather than back into Whitstable. I think I saw enough of Whitstable. Let's sum Whitstable up then. Yeah, quite a pleasant little seaside town. Very busy, quite noisy, a lot of traffic, some interesting shops, some interesting independent food outlets, and one or two well-known names as well. So if you like oysters, it's probably a great place to go. And by the number of fish and chip shops that had reasonably high scores, I would say that they're pretty good as well. I haven't actually had any fish and chips yet. I might have to wait until Herne Hill now. But it's just over an hour outside London, and not very far from Canterbury. So if you're in this neck of the woods, it's probably worth a visit. And I'll have a quick look round Herne Hill once I get there before I jump on the train back to the big city. In the meantime, I'll keep walking and I shall post anything that I see of interest along the way. For those of you that are interested in either acquiring a beach hut or just about them, I just had a look. This is Tankerton Beach. I forgot them for a moment, which is somewhere halfway between Herne Bay and Whitstable. As you saw earlier on in Whitstable, there were a lot of huts as well, and there certainly are plenty here. I guess the ones right at the front here are premium prices, and the ones further back not quite so. But I just had a little look on the Tankerton Beach Hut Association website, where you can advertise to sell your hut, or indeed advertise yourself wanting to buy one. They were talking in terms of somewhere in the region between £60,000 and £86,000, which in dollars and euros is somewhere in the order of 70,000 to 100,000 euros and dollars approximately, for a wooden hut by the sea. I don't know, what do you think? Is that crazy prices? It's certainly a nice place to sit and look out into the sea here. Absolutely it is. Very pleasant place. I don't know how often they come up for sale. I've certainly not seen any for sale signs stuck on any of them. And I imagine, I wouldn't be certain, but on the imagine the ones closer to Whitstable or Herne Bay will probably be even more expensive. I've heard of some crazy prices down between Poole and Bournemouth on the south coast there, way above this. So it just goes to show how prime locations will cost you a lot of money if you want to have a little hut. But certainly very nice, very pleasant, and I imagine very homely inside as well. Get your wallet out, guys. Herne Bay Sailing Club. Some nice little boats here. Apparently these are called camping pods, so they're sort of sturdy tents really, a bit like the beach, a bit like beach huts I guess, but slightly smaller than the static homes over there on Park Parks. That's interesting. I've never seen anything like that before, camping pod. So yeah, a tent you don't need to, it's not going to blow away in the wind, at least hopefully not anyway. But pretty cool actually, I have to say. I'll have to look them up when I get home. Do you know something, guys? There's just nothing better, is there, than to walk by the seaside with someone on your own, listening to music, just being in the moment, whatever suits. Well, this holiday, what's the word? Not camp, holiday centre. It's called Seaview. There we go. There's a sign for it there. Last few pictures available. Luxury lodges from £130,000. Been able to buy the whole of Whitstable for that at one time. Incredible. but they're very sought after locations like this, right by the sea, fresh air. Too far from Herne Bay now. This is called Hampton, and I think it's just essentially part of Herne Bay. So I'll be walking up to the headland there, around the corner into Herne Bay itself, and we'll conclude at Herne Bay railway station in around about 30 minutes time. It's been a beautiful walk along here, I have to say, so far. Ideal weather for it. Sunshine, cool breeze, just lovely. Just approaching Herne Bay now. Some nice houses there overlooking the sea. Well, they'd be slightly more expensive than these huts. And how often he has to repaint that house. And there's sea air blowing in all the time. Soon start flaking. Every 5 years maybe, I don't know. A bit of flaking on the front there. That is or what used to be the end of Herne Bay Pier before it was destroyed. I think it was 1978. It was connected to that where the fun fair is, and you used to be able to get boats from the end of there, steamers. It's been long gone, so I don't know if there's anything out there anymore that's of note, but it looks pretty derelict over there, and you've just got this little stubby bit sticking out with the fun fair on it now. So that bit's open. Yeah, I mean, Herne Bay is clearly a different sort of traditional seaside town here in England. Whitstable, a bit more old-fashioned. Here's got the some of the other traditional stuff you'll find, such as amusement arcades and candy floss places. Didn't really see that in Whitstable, to be fair. Same sort of beach though here, i.e. pebbles, and same amount of cars as well. Let's get off the road actually.
That's the sea. There was no white.
Oh yeah. This is not quite as busy, but a bit more like its compatriot over the water there in Essex in Clacton. Well, Clacton is probably bigger than here, but yeah, it's quite a bit busier down here as well, certainly on the beach, although of course it's a bit later in the day now from when I first started off in Whitstable, and has warmed up a little bit. Due some showers later on, so everyone's making the most of it while they can. You can always go in there if it starts raining. That will very, very quickly empty your wallet out. Nice little beach though. So if you've got young ones that want to play in the sand with buckets and spades, then probably this isn't the place for you, but as a beach, it's got everything else you might want to have or need. Yeah, it's really rather pleasant here. It's another place I've never been to before, I have to say. I've been through on the train, but I've never actually got off and had a look around here. So today's been great actually. I was only intending to have a look around Whitstable, but you know how it is. You start walking, you head off in a particular direction, and next thing you know, you're in the next town. Quite pleasant gardens over here as well. The aim here is to get to the clock tower over there, which isn't very far away now, and then turn inland and head back to the railway station. It's to my right inland by about 3/4 of a mile or so. I'm sort of beginning to run out of time for the particular train I want to catch, so very pleasant. Maybe on that stage at the moment. What do they have on there then? Those gulls there waiting for someone to bring some fish and chips out. They're assassinators. Oh, goodbye Herne Bay. Thank you for the impromptu invitation. Fish and chips doing a roaring trade right on the front there. Just walk back along the way I just came on the other side of the road now and turn onto Station Road. That certainly does what it says on the tin, I guess, and should lead me straight back to the station. Well, on the way back to the railway station now. Just for the record, it's about 3/4 of a mile, or just over a kilometre from the station to the seafront, and you'll come out down, if you walk down Station Road, you'll come out right by, pretty much by the pier, or just close to it at least anyway. So there you go. Let's keep going. I've got, it's about 15 minutes from here, and the train's in 25, so I'm hoping to pop in a shop on the way, grab a drink for the journey back into jolly old London. Right, just approaching the railway station now. As you can see, since I've been walking up here, there's been loads of buses going by, so that's a totally viable alternative to get you down the seafront if you don't wish to walk. Or, of course, if you drive here, you can park right on the seafront. There's a car park there. It was fairly full today. I imagine it gets very, very full in the middle of summer. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to sit down on the train now, back to London, and I'll pop anything else on the end that is of interest. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 2 courses, £9.95. So, pub. Disused track there, disused platform.